So I like to enter the scenic route via the Sanctime gate side. We're going to be doing quite a bit in here, and you want to put off finding Zin until later, although if you're on a blind playthrough and are not watching these videos, well, chances are you'll run into him on your own without realizing it. I'll explain that when we first get to the map of this place. So I really love the way this place looks. This kind of dark forest park, dimly lit by street lamps. It's just kind of a cool area. We also have this music again, and I believe it's actually the last time we hear this music in the whole of the first game, so that's kind of a shame. And yes, they are pretty strong, so you will need to be a little bit careful. So here we are on the first screen of the scenic route. This one has a few chests for us to find, and one of them is kind of well hidden. There are also shining poms here. We'll see if we run into those as we keep going forward. I think the shining poms are fairly close to the intersection here. Not that intersection, but the next intersection. Right now, though, I want to head straight north, because up here is this stone monument. Cerulean stone monuments. But what we really came here for is this chest, and guess what? It's monsters. So we have quite a few new enemy types here, including these crocodile things, which can actually move pretty far. And that annoying bird is going to sort of prevent us from spamming arts here. These fire things are actually really weak, but I'm pretty sure they can still confuse you. So, okay, yeah, we have Flame Plant, which has a very big weakness to water, and they can also confuse you. Sharkodile, probably the most dangerous thing here. Weak to fire and earth, but it has quite a bit of HP, and it can hurt you quite a bit in terms of its actual damage. We've seen those things before. Hell Mars, which I think is kind of a cool enemy name, which can drop rocks on you, like the Mars Sparrows back from the prologue, and the War Bats, which is kind of more cat-like. Which, yeah, these things are not really all that bad. Okay, this is actually kind of a problem. I want to get rid of this bird because I guess I can hit two things with this. Unfortunately, that pushes the Hell Mars into a crit turn, which is probably not good. So maybe I can steal the crit turn with Aerial. Oh, I actually can get these things without hitting the reflector. That's good. And fades, of course. Yeah, that's annoying. See, a Deep Crimson Flame I'm pretty sure can inflict Confuse, but other than that, it barely does any damage at all. And that should be a double kill. There we go. And that Crocodile is still there. Yeah, we've got immunity to confusion. As long as you have that, these things really aren't too bad. And now I can safely spam White Gehenna. Or maybe just Hellgate, as the case may be. Ow. Now, I haven't actually quite addressed it just yet, but during these battles, you'll see just how good the Gladiator Belt is. Because it restores about 3 CP, but it does so every single, like, action that happens. Whether it be yours, or whether it be that of an enemy. So yeah, Joshua already has his S-Craft right now. Let's see. Not quite done. You know what? I'm actually going to have to use this and get rid of that Mars Sparrow. That had better do... Oh, I haven't actually shown Barrage. I completely forgotten about that. I need to show that the next chance I get. And gone. I'm saving Joshua's 200 CP for another one, because yes, there are multiple monster chests in here. At least they give a lot of Seepeth. And with that we get Shield 3, a quality I don't think I had yet. There is a note inside. It reads, Sucker! Actually, I'll take Shield 3. Shield 3 is pretty nice. I'll go ahead and put that on Estelle's Ornament right now, I think. Now let's go and heal up with a bit of ice cream. So from there, we can head to the south here. Oh, and have the Shining Pom run right into us. And they're all going to run, aren't they? No, that one's still active. So the thing with these Shining Poms, they're kind of annoying. These ones seem to have... So I know instant death works on them, but it seems like they're very resistant to the 20% instant death of Shadow Spear. I rarely ever get the instant death on them with this. I know that Death Blow 2 definitely works on them though. So, yeah, I guess we'll try that later on, because there is a chest with Death Blow 2 in this very park. So, close to these Shining Poms, if we swing the camera around, is a wooden chest here. This one's very easy to miss. Tirabal. The chest is empty. I blame you. Okay, so heading down here. Nothing in that little corner. And right at the bottom here, we have a Vermilion Stone Monument. And behind it, a monster chest. Yep, I preempted that because I remember this one as a monster chest. And it's the exact same configuration as before. Oh, great, I just missed the critical turn. So I'm just going to go ahead and speed through this fight. The name of that move sounds very disturbing. But yeah, like, not too long after I used Joshua's 200 CP S-Craft, and he already has 50 CP. The Gladiator belt is ridiculous. Anyway, from now we get Defense 3. You have gone over your limit for this chest, Dev Team. Defense 3 is actually pretty solid. I may as well put that on Estelle right now, even though it doesn't give her access to any more arts. And with that, we can head into the second screen of this place, and that's where we need to be a little bit careful. Because, I'll just bring up the map right now and show you with my mouse. This area right here, this is where Zin is. Do not head down this branch of the path until you're ready, because when you meet Zin, you will actually be taken right back to town. And I may have encountered that on my test playthrough and got very annoyed because I hadn't got all the chests in here, and thus I was forced to come back. So yeah, that's extremely annoying. So from here, I actually want to head straight north. And see this thing. Yep, there's a really big crocodile here. I generally don't like fighting these things too much because, well, it says here they can use instant death, and they're also pretty powerful and quite beefy, 2000 HP, so... Yeah, I personally don't really see it as too worth it to fight them, but I can have this thing, well, that sounds awful when I think of it that way. I was about to say murder its babies, but yeah. I guess I can try and Earth Lance one of the smaller ones. Watch me get faint on the big one and ruin my confusion. Okay, no I didn't. The big one is incredibly slow, though, admittedly. Ah, stop going away. I want you to hit the small ones. So yeah, that's those enemies down. Confusing the big one is definitely helpful. Now, I know there's a second wooden chest somewhere in this place. We have 3 so far, and there are a total of 5. So, this screen of the Erbe Scenic route is the last one before we go to the Garoon Gate side. And here I think we have to be paying... Yep, here we go. Here's the wooden chest. So, there it is, Terra Balm. I don't like missing that one. Silent disapproval. I think the chest quotes are actually really good in here. Which is a relief because they were kind of a little bit lackluster in previous, the immediate previous parts of the game, I'll just say. And here we have a Virescent Stone Monument, which I think is like greenish. But I believe if we look carefully in here, there is, yep, there's another chest here. And this one is not a monster chest, Death Blow 2. What more do you want from me? Blood? I'm sorry, you can't not be a giant ham when you read quotes like that. But anyway, that's actually everything we need to do here except meet Zin. But what I am going to do is, I'm going to actually just go ahead and straight up equip, oh, yeah, I forgot that I used Joshua's Death Blow 2 earlier, and I forgot to replace it. So, yeah, I'm going to replace it with another Death Blow 2 for the moment. And I'm going to use that to tear... Hi there. I'm going to use that just to kill off the Shining Poms. In fact, I just had an idea. If I use Joshua's S-Craft, does Death Blow 2 only apply to one hit of it, or will it apply to all three? Yeah, it only applies to the first one. This is one of the few Shining Poles where S-Crafts are definitely more reliable at taking them out than Shadow Spear. They're not even worth all that much experience, comparatively speaking, but they at least give a lot of Seepeth. Oh, by the way, yeah, so, you didn't see the achievement pop up there? That's because I had to re-record this part, because, yeah, I lost the commentary track for the original, but thankfully I still have the footage of the original take, so I can show you the achievement popping up. So yeah, with that, now it's time to just head over to where Zin is. Although before I do that, I'm gonna go ahead and spam Ice Cream until Joshua has 200 CP. Because I'll just say that having 200 CP on Joshua is very, very helpful for what's about to happen. Okay, so we're healed up. In addition to that, you want to make sure that you equip Poison Protection on everyone. Joshua doesn't need it because he has the Gladiator belts. Okay, and also in terms of formation, yeah, let's put Estelle in the front. So yeah, as soon as you head down this path, you'll be taken into a cutscene, and once these cutscenes are over, we'll be zipped all the way back to town. So make sure you've done everything you want to do in here before going here, otherwise you will have to come back here later. So, 3Bs. This one actually isn't too bad. You don't want to use your S-Craft here. You want to save that for a bit later. And there's where that poison immunity comes in. They are very fast as well, so don't expect to be getting your high cast time arts off particularly frequently. Actually, that could be bad if they all decide to attack the NPC. Oh, okay. I forgot they could run away, but yeah, they can actually do that. Now, before this fight ends, you want to make sure that you heal yourselves as much as you can. You'll see. We're good to go. Oh, Estelle, you think that's pretty tough? You haven't seen anything yet. Don't speak too soon. So, we actually were given hints towards this if you talked to the people in the cathedral earlier. They mention a new sister having joined recently. This is her. That's interesting. maybe more's going on in LeBeau than we thought. And this is the really annoying fight. Yes, yes, it will be. The good news, though, is that Zin's finally here. Definitely, let's go. So, this is the bee fight that I particularly had troubles with. There's 8 of them now. On Nightmare, combined with our high speed, this fight is an absolute pain. I actually died to this fight multiple times on that difficulty, so, yeah, that's kind of a problem. However, there is quite an easy way to end this fight, and I think I'm just going to go ahead and use a Monster Sushi on Joshua right now for a strength buff just to make sure. Because one thing that I will say really helps here is Zin's taunt.
Hey, over here!
It's not 100% effective, but having them all aggro onto him, even though he's not immune to poison at this point, is definitely useful to keep them away from Sister Ellen. And from the rest of you. However, I'm not even going to need to do that because I prepared in advance with Joshua's S-Craft. That's so satisfying. And yet they all died. So, I made that look easy. Trust me, it's not if you don't have 200 CP on Joshua.
Let's move out.
If you aren't able to kill off those bees very, very quickly, yeah, really, really bad things happen. And of course, Joshua's just barely off of level up, and I'm going to be taken out of the forest, so I won't be able to get him that level for a little bit, which is annoying because Joshua actually learned a new craft at level 26. So if you don't have 200 CP on Joshua, again, Zin's taunt is your friend in that fight. It doesn't always work, but even if you get most of them with it, it keeps them off of Sister Ellen. And on Nightmare mode, she goes down in at least 3 hits, probably 2. Don't underestimate that fight. If you're unprepared, it's pretty bad. I forgot that happened on my practice playthrough, and yeah, I failed to that fight more times than I'd like to admit. Well, we kind of solved it. Also, I love how casual Zinni is here. How's the redhead who got poisoned? Except he's kind of a fugitive at the moment, so yeah. Well, looks like Zin's Sylvain is showing. Yeah, it's kind of implied that Zin and Kilika did have kind of a thing in the past. We'll find out more about that in the second game. It's part of why Kilika's my favorite branch head. Is Estelle gonna have to drag him away by the ear like Misty in the anime? Oh no. Well, I guess this is why they tell you to avoid this place. Oh yeah, that's totally what we're doing, and not just, you know, Zin hitting on someone. Estelle, now is not the time. I like how Joshua just comes in, shoves her out of the way, and just takes over. Because he's like, nope, that's not going to end well if we let her handle this. That is true, though. We really weren't doing anything suspicious. We weren't doing anything against their actions, for once. Wait, what? They're in the tournament? That's not good. Why do I get the feeling that Colonel Richard entered the Special Ops soldiers into the tournament just as a bit of a show of force to the general public? Let's not antagonize them yet. There'll be plenty of time to do that after we've exposed their plot. That is actually very true. And I suppose to save face with them, it's best we let them escort her back to town. I don't think she's in any danger from them or anything. So again, they're entering into the tournament. We know them for very different reasons, though. Yeah, it's almost as if they want the public to know how powerful they are. Yeah, finally getting to the point. We're actually here to see you. And here's where you get taken back to town, which, yeah, I ran into that on my test playthrough and I was like, oh, wait. I forgot to get all of the chests in the Erbe Scenic route and I had to go back later. That was annoying. Well, yeah, you could say that. That's technically true, but it's not the whole reason why we're entering, but he doesn't need to know all the details. I do really like how Joshua makes sure not to tell, like, just everyone what they're actually doing. Only people who really need to know. Okay, great. Didn't you already see how skilled we were when we fought that evil penguin? That actually wasn't too long ago. Well, there goes the hopes of a Zin solo run of the arena, but you know what? Considering who else is in this tournament, he probably wouldn't have made it that far. One person short of the requirements. I wonder who we could bring to fill the 4-person quota. I mean, she'd be pretty useful here as a party member, but like Joshua says, she's very busy right now. Estelle, be careful what you wish for. I think you all saw this one coming. And Estelle might not like it, but I'm actually very glad. You could say that. And Estelle sums it up. Things are actually hitting it off surprisingly better than I would have expected. Also, the way Joshua asked this is great. You know what? We can actually fix that. He sort of has a motive to enter these tournaments. Yeah, surely you can't resist that. So, looks like we have our fourth. And Estelle and Joshua might not be happy. I definitely am. Because Josh... Yeah, Olivier's pretty amazing in battle. Glad to have him in the party again. Here we have a pretty cool moment for Zin, actually. Wow, Zin is actually very perceptive about this kind of thing. Like, I feel like Zin is definitely not one of the more popular characters in this game. He's definitely overshadowed by people like Olivier, but I think he's actually really interesting. I don't know if I particularly like using the term, but I feel like he's a bit of an underrated character, actually. And so we have our team. Now it's time to fight in the tournaments. Well, after we, you know, arrange where we're going to sleep for the night. Yeah, hopefully Olivier doesn't knock himself out drinking again. And so here we are back at the hotel. Well, hopefully this doesn't get us in trouble again. I don't think a hotel would discriminate like that, though. So before we head to our room, I believe there's one particular set of guests in this hotel. These two. I think these are the two that we saw get together in Roland all the way back at the beginning of the game. So that's a really nice detail. And with that, there's nothing to do but to head back into our room. I'm kind of envious of Estelle and Joshua here. They get to stay in a lot of very nice hotels for free over the course of this game. There is actually a map of Grancel in the art book that kind of fully shows a bit of a 3D layout of the city. And the arena does look pretty big. I guess so. Estelle, you've been sharing rooms together for this whole journey. Yeah, well, it's things like that that are not exactly what she wants to hear right now for certain reasons. I'll just stress that again, I normally don't like these kinds of romance plots, but This is like a very, very rare exception, because, again, they've only really known each other for 5 years. It's not like they grew up their entire lives as adoptive siblings. And I guess that means Estelle has the higher wisdom of the two. Ah, yes, tell him something. Yeah, I'm sure she has something she wants to tell him, but, yep.